Alright, I am back with another Destiny video. After doing 3 in like 2 days when there was a ton of stuff happening, I took some time off because there really was not anything to talk about in the game, to the point where I debated doing a video about Grandmaster Nightfalls, which I'm not even running, but I figured to just hold off and there'd probably be news eventually. That actually did pan out in a big way yesterday, where Bungie showed up to the Xbox Games Showcase. There's been some kind of rumblings for a while that Bungie and Microsoft are like, quote, getting back together in a way. We didn't know what form that would take, but they have entered into some sort of partnership where now Destiny 2 and all its expansions will be on Game Pass. I'll touch on that in a minute, but we'll just start with the big reveal for the actual game, which was they announced this by showcasing a trailer full of Stasis stuff. And I really hope that I fixed the S's on my mic, since I have to say Stasis a million times in this video. So we'll see how that goes. It was a short trailer, but it was deeply impressive. It was very cool. I made some jokes about comparing how the Destiny trailer looked to the Halo gameplay. I won't get into that here, lest I attract a bunch of angry Microsoft people, as I've been doing on Twitter for the past 24 hours. Stasis looks extremely cool and very innovative, kind of above and beyond what I was expecting. What was shown in the video is you can do stuff that you might have expected, like, freeze enemies with grenades or projectile melees. I think the Hunter had some sort of throwing knife projectile that suppressed enemies, which, man, that's going to be fun in Crucible. But the most significant stuff we saw is kind of terrain manipulation, in a way where we saw at least one ice wall grenade where like a huge wall comes up, and we saw like a Hunter jumping over it in Crucible or something. So that's obviously kind of significant for territory control. It seems to be different than like a Titan barricade that you can kind of see through, and it's small. Like, that ice wall looks very large, and I don't think you can see through it or shoot through it or anything. Maybe you can damage it. I don't know. That wasn't shown in the video. And then we also have what was probably the wildest thing they showed, which was, I think it was a grenade or some sort of ability where you can throw it at a wall and it creates like a platform to stand on. And they showed like people jumping on that platform and then getting to a new area with that. I have a million questions about that. I have no idea if that's going to be available to use on like every surface in the game, as with the geometry in a lot of these zones. I feel like that would get really complicated really quickly. But that also that opens up a huge variety of gameplay possibilities for like jumping puzzles, or for like Crucible. Like, can you make your own sniper shelf that you just hang out on in some random place in Crucible? Like, that really seems like an innovative concept that I would not have predicted from Stasis. And then we also saw a bunch of Stasis supers. I think we saw essentially all of them. The Warlock seems to have some sort of ice staff where, interestingly, the staff thing, I saw one sequence where you're like wielding the staff in first person. So I'm not sure if that's just something you have when you're using the class, or if that's like during your super. We don't have too many first person supers other than Golden Gun, and is Golden Gun the only one? So maybe this is kind of Warlock Golden Gun, but with ice blasts. Hunter has some sort of dual ice axes. It seemed a little bit like Blade Barrage from what I was seeing, but I'm not even 100% sure we saw the full extent of that super. The Titan has some sort of like Hulk smash thing where it gets a bunch of ice armor and some spikes on it, and then it smashes the ground, and a bunch of glaciers kind of pop up from the earth and kill things. So it's very cool. All of these look very cool. It has me thinking, so if we're getting Stasis, are we getting like 3 Stasis trees? Like, everything else has 3 trees now for different things. My guess is no. My guess is that we are heading towards a more general, expansive rework of subclasses in general. I would not be surprised to see subclasses kind of turn into one big pool, like kind of similar to what they used to be in D1, where we're kind of picking and choosing different perks. I feel like that may end up in some stuff getting cut that is a little redundant, but I would be surprised if we kept the 3 tree system in place. I think we're just going to have kind of a selection of nodes that we get to assign in some way or another. That makes the most sense to me. I'm not 100% sure what that'll look like in practice, but I know Bungie wants to keep moving more in the RPG direction, and just 3 kind of pre-selected trees with 3 skills and a super seems pretty contrary to that. I don't know if we've like glimpsed a look at this yet in one of the Vidocs. I can't honestly remember, but I would be surprised if we got to November now after the delay and there wasn't some sort of subclass 2.0 or 3.0, whatever we're at now, rework. Because usually we see something big and substantial change like that with the sandbox with these expansions. And my guess is that this time around it's going to be subclasses. So Stasis looks cool. The bigger news, honestly, could just be the Game Pass thing. And everyone is still like, I'm to this day, or till like an hour ago, I'm seeing people like, no, Beyond Light isn't included in this. It's just the other expansions. No, it is. It is definitely included in this. I like Quintuple confirmed this, and it says that on the Bungie site that Bungie is launching Beyond Light on Game Pass in November. Forsaken and Shadowkeep will come in September, and then I think they were all supposed to come in September, and then there was the delay, but that's how it's going to work, and that's a big deal. I wrote about this earlier today, and I mean Bungie is not owned by Microsoft anymore. Like they are choosing to debut a brand new what should be probably $40 expansion on Game Pass, which is, I mean, it's almost a sequel, and it's looking like it's going to be very huge. And that is a very big deal, and I think that speaks to the direction the industry is moving. Bungie seems to smartly recognize that Game Pass is pretty much one of the best deals in gaming, kind of by far, and that we are moving in the subscription direction. And for an ongoing game that seems destined to sort of live forever, it's kind of a good match with that. Bungie's still going to be selling seasons separately, and they still have microtransactions and stuff, but just integrating itself into Game Pass like that, it automatically makes it, seem like a better deal than just keep continuing to buy stuff on Steam or on PS4, because you're paying $40 for each expansion every year, plus the stuff for the seasons. And the Game Pass thing will come eventually. They said 2021 with it'll work with PC Game Pass. So it's essentially like you're getting, at least 2 platforms. You're getting Xbox and then Series X, which will run 60 FPS 4K. I assume PS5 will also run that, but they didn't say that. And then you're getting PC eventually, and then you can play Game Pass on a ton of stuff. So you can theoretically play Destiny on mobile, like some tablets or some phones. I know Stadia has that now, but this allows you to not have to deal with Stadia at all, which I think most people don't really want to bother with at this point. And something like this seems like kind of a big nail in Stadia's coffin, especially when xCloud arrives and this is all just like streaming based, or arrives in full past the kind of tests and stuff they're doing now. And then I think xCloud and Game Pass are going to be kind of the same thing. So again, this is all where the future of gaming is heading, and you're still going to see $60 releases for like a long time, but more and more games are going to adopt this sort of ongoing platform thing. Like from the Halo debut, we saw that Halo Infinite is meant to be kind of a platform for Halo for the next generation, essentially. And that's on Game Pass, and they're going to keep adding stuff to it, which will also be on Game Pass. And so Bungie's kind of setting the trend here in terms of games that are ongoing, live services, but also like can be married to a Game Pass subscription or something like Game Pass. And Game Pass is close to the only game in town right now. Like there's really nothing else that quite compares to it. Like PS Now is not at the same level because it's not offering like, really brand new releases like Xbox is. And if Xbox starts getting more and more third parties in addition to its own first party games launching on Game Pass, that's a big deal. And Beyond Light seems like a big step in that direction. So that's pretty cool to see. I think Bungie made the right call here. It's a win-win for them because they probably got a pile of cash from Microsoft to do that. Absolutely a win for Microsoft because they kind of get a trophy in terms of a big release coming to Game Pass. I don't know if this will convert me to play on Xbox. Right now, the majority of my friends still play on PS4, and I have my gaming PC that I play a lot of PvE stuff on. If PS5 cannot do 60 FPS 4K, then I would probably definitely switch over to console when I play console there, but we'll see. So I'm kind of married to my current platforms, but I think this has the potential to dramatically expand the Destiny player base. They already did it once with going free to play, but now putting every current expansion on Game Pass really opens things up kind of on a whole different level. So good move by them. A lot of news. This was very secretive. Like they weren't allowed to tease this at all. Like this had to be a complete surprise, and I was completely surprised by it, and I think everybody was. So cool week. The game itself, not much going on. Not really much to cover there. Solstice of Heroes starts in 2 weeks, I think. So we'll check back to that and unlock the armors, and I think we're going to the EAZ again. I think that's been confirmed. So there'll be more stuff to do then. And then obviously we have to deal with the delay, which is not going to be super fun, but yeah, we'll see. So things in the game are probably going to be slow for a while, but you know, just work on your title completions and raids and farming for stuff that isn't getting sunset and things like that. I've been playing Ghosts of Tsushima nonstop, and that has been a lot of fun. I thought about doing a video of that, but I don't want to get too off of Destiny just yet on this channel. That may be something for down the road, but for now you can just like read all the stuff I've been writing. I think I've been writing a Ghost of Tsushima article every single day, similar to Destiny, because I played it a lot, love it a lot. It's a great game. Yeah, anyway, this is I'm sorry there's no Evie in this video. She's sleeping in another room, but we'll try and get her in the next one. All right, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Thanks.